As a player who has racked up quite the numbers for his young age and left multiple broken records in his wake, Erling Haaland's legend has soared to new heights. The Norwegian burst onto the football scene with RB Salzburg in 2019 as a teenage sensation, before making a winter transfer move to Borussia Dortmund in 2020. In the summer of 2022, Haaland switched the black and yellow of Borussia Dortmund for the blue of Manchester City after 2 seasons and a half at Signal Iduna Park. For a team already bristling with dominance and brilliance, Haaland's arrival at the Etihad seeks to elevate the team to even higher heights. The Norwegian alien has set sail in the English Channel, looking to etch his name into English football history by breaking and setting records. The shiniest jewel among these records is the tally for most goals scored in a single Premier League season. Will Erling Haaland conquer this coveted record in his first season? Welcome to Football Pro. In this video, we're going to examine Erling Haaland's chances of breaking the record for most goals scored in a single Premier League season. This channel is dedicated to bringing you awesome, regular content in and around the beautiful game of football. Let's dive in. The name Haaland is no stranger to English football. Although made in Norway, the Haalands are making history on English soil for the second generation in a row. Erling's father, Alfie, was not quite the predatory goal scorer, but carved his name into Premier League history for 10 years with the likes of Nottingham Forest, Leeds United, and Manchester City. Alfie Haaland spent his best years at Leeds United, where he played as a utility midfielder or right back, helping the team qualify for the Champions League and reach the UEFA Cup semi-finals. Erling Haaland was born in Leeds to Alfie and his wife, Gry Merida Brout, who was a former heptathlon athlete. But Alfie's time at Manchester City would have the greatest impact on the family due to the controversial beef between him and Manchester United legend Roy Keane. After an altercation with Keane, Alfie was severely injured and fell into a latch of injury woes which forced him to take a 10-year break from football. During this break, Alfie and his family moved back to Bern, his hometown in Norway. With time, the focus shifted from Alfie to his toddler, Erling, as he took his first steps in the world of sports. And what a first step it was. In 2006, 5-year-old Erling Haaland set the long jump record for his age category at 1.63 meters. Aside from football and the long jump, Erling was also involved in other sports like handball, golf, and track and field events. Those athletic genes were already working overtime, but the young prodigy was not allowed to rest on his laurels as he soon started life at Bern's local academy. And the rest, as they say, is history. Many years later, Erling Haaland would make his senior debut just 3 months shy of his 16th birthday. But he would not take the game by storm just yet, as he failed to score a goal in his breakthrough season with Brine. Later that year, a young Haaland would also make his music debut with the rap group Flow Kings, a multi-talented king. In 2017, he made the move to playing at One of Molde under future Man United boss Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It was here that Haaland would begin actualizing his phenomenon. Like the golden boy he was, he scored on his official debut for Molde in the Norwegian Cup, and also scored the club's winner in his league debut a week later. Although his first season ended with an uneventful 4-goal tally, only got hungrier for success and glory. His potential bore fruit the next season, as Haaland finished the season as Molde's top goalscorer with 16 goals in 30 matches. For a minute, Haaland had been a local sensation in Norway and Austria, but the world got to see his true level on the international stage. In the group stage of the 2019 FIFA Under-20 World Cup, Haaland would score 9 goals in a single match for Norway to demolish Honduras in a 12-0 win. This was a new FIFA Under-20 World Cup record for the most goals scored by a single player in a match. Although Norway did not progress past the group stages, Haaland ended the tournament with the top scorer's Golden Boot Award, the first of many. In January 2019, he made a switch to Austrian giants, RB Salzburg, where he got back into the business of breaking records. Later that year, Haaland opened his European account by scoring in 5 consecutive Champions League matches, becoming the first teenager to do so. He also joined the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo and Robert Lewandowski as the only players to ever score in the first 5 games of a Champions League campaign. His hype caught fire, and all of Europe's elite began hounding for his signature. But it was Dortmund who won his signature in the winter transfer, as he ended the year with 28 goals in 22 appearances for RB Salzburg. Erling did not need to dust his boots off, as he came off the bench to score a hat-trick on his Dortmund debut to seal a comeback against Augsburg. He became the first player since Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to score a hat-trick on his debut, but the records did not stop coming. Erling came off the bench on the next match day to score a brace in Dortmund's 5. one victory over FC Köln. This made Haaland the first player to score 5 goals in his first 2 matches, and the fastest player to reach that tally in Bundesliga history. His freight train performances on the field earned him the fan-voted January Bundesliga's Player of the Month, despite playing for only 56 minutes. Oh, by the way, a lot of hard work and care goes into these videos, so if you could help us out and click that lovely subscribe button, we'd greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up too. The next month, Haaland picked up where he left off with a brace against Union Berlin, becoming the first player to score 7 goals in their first 3 Bundesliga games. Boy, was he on fire. At the end of the 2019-20 season, the goal-scoring alien had racked up 44 goals in 40 appearances for both RB Salzburg and Borussia Dortmund. His next season started with a familiar tune as he became the fastest player to score 15 Champions League goals in just 12 games. Mind-blowing. It's no surprise that Haaland soon became the fastest player to reach 20 Champions League goals in 15 games and also picked up the record for the first player to score multiple times in 4 consecutive games. Haaland eventually ended the 2021 campaign as the Champions League's top scorer. He also secured his first title with a brace against Leipzig in the DFB Pokal final. However, the next season was not as much a jolly ride. After a strong start to the season with 4 goals and assists on matchday 1, Haaland was sidelined with a hamstring injury. On his return, he managed another brace against Mainz this time, but got sidelined with a hip flexor injury for another 2 months. Despite his injury-riddled season, Haaland still managed to score his 50th Bundesliga goal. Of course, he also managed to set a record for the fewest appearances to reach the milestone and became the youngest player to score 50 Bundesliga goals. That summer, Manchester City announced they had activated Erling Haaland's release clause and acquired the player for $60 million. Haaland's purchase was an absolute bargain that brought fears to Man City rivals both at home and abroad. In the season prior, Pep Guardiola's Blues had clinched the club's 8th Premier League title on the final match day. However, they still fell short of their decade-long ambition to win their first Champions League title after crashing out against eventual champions Real Madrid in the semi-finals. The Manchester City project attracted many of the best players from around the world but still failed to deliver their crown piece. With Erling Haaland's arrival, a change in fortune looks to be on the horizon. But the man has ambitions of his own too. The Premier League is football's most competitive and prestigious domestic league. For Haaland, etching his name in the golden books is not an option, and the best way to do so is to break and set records like he was born to do. Many consider the Premier League the toughest league in Europe. It is common knowledge that scoring many goals is a daunting task for any striker in the league. Due to the sheer number of games on the schedule, every big team will compete in the league. EFL Cup, FA Cup, and additional international competitions like the Champions League, Europa League, or even the FIFA Club World Cup. In this tight, busy schedule comes a lot of fatigue, which leads to injuries and dips in form. Moreover, the 2022-23 season came across as tricky with the notorious Winter FIFA World Cup. As such, many factors would be involved in the overall success of every team. But for a quest like Erling Haaland's, the road was even steeper. Although the reaction surrounding Haaland's transfer to Manchester City was quite positive, there was a bit of friction about how the talisman would fit into the team. In the 2021-22 season, the Blues came close to clinching a treble without a main striker up front, as Guardiola preferred a false 9 attacker instead. On the other hand, many thought that Erling Haaland had his work cut out for him by playing at the apex of City's incredible attacking setup with brilliant creators like Kevin De Bruyne, Riyad Mahrez, and Bernardo Silva to provide exquisite service. Many doubts were raised until the alien began firing on all cylinders from his league debut, where he opened his account with a brace. He went on to score 9 goals in his first 5 appearances, which is now a Premier League record. Those 9 goals also meant Haaland had set the record for most goals in August. The next month, Erling became the fastest player to score 15 EPL goals by achieving the tally in just 9 games of action. Among these haul of goals was a hat-trick in 3 consecutive home games, another new Premier League record. These made him the fastest player to score 3 hat-tricks in EPL history ahead of legends Michael Owen and Alan Shearer. By December, Haaland became the fastest player to reach 20 Premier League goals, and his 4th hat-trick in January meant he had surpassed the previous season's goal record of 23, with his 25-goal tally. Haaland's 5-goal haul in Man City's UEFA Champions League route of RB Leipzig meant he had scored 39 goals in all competitions so far. This is a new club record for the most goals scored in a single season. However, this story is no fairy tale. Erling Haaland's incredible start in England had begun fizzling out after the World Cup as his consistency faltered and Man City faced other issues. So far this season, the striker had a couple of humble outings, but managed to keep his dry streaks to a minimum of 2 EPL games. His goal tally currently stands at 28, a new club record, in just 26 EPL appearances for the Blues. So far, he has managed to score a goal every 81 minutes and achieved a goal ratio of 1.08 per game. But Haaland must steer his ship to score 32 EPL goals if he is to claim the golden record. Liverpool's Mohamed Salah remains the current record holder for the highest EPL goals in a 38-game season. The Egyptian surpassed the 31-goal tally of legends like Cristiano Ronaldo, Luis Suarez, and Thierry Henry when he set his name in stone with 32 goals in the 2017-18 season. Meanwhile, Alan Shearer and Andy Cole are the record holders with 34 goals scored in a 42-game season. If Haaland manages to cross the 32-goal tally, a few more goals from him would crown him as the outright highest goal scorer in a single Premier League season. Clinching the records may require a few more good games from the Norwegian, but he is almost guaranteed the European Golden Shoe. Haaland has outscored every player in Europe and currently rests easy atop the rankings with 56 coefficient points. Claiming this prestigious prize would be an incredible feat for Haaland, as he would join the elite company of Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. For now, Erling Haaland is just 4 goals away from Mohamed Salah's record, 6 goals from the outright record, and 7 goals from breaking the wheel. The best-case scenario for Haaland would be a Premier League tally of 35 or more goals, which would see him clinch the outright EPL record, EPL Golden Boot, European Golden Shoe, and possibly the Ballon d'Or. With 11 EPL games left on Manchester City's season calendar, it looks quite likely. If he does manage to clinch these records, that also means Haaland would have scored 14-plus EPL goals in 2023, and he would be on course to break Harry Kane's 39-goal record for most EPL goals scored in a calendar year. Knowing Erling Haaland and his hunger for breaking records, it is far from impossible. But we'll have to wait and see. Thanks so much for sticking around until the end of the video. We hope you enjoyed it. But why stop now? Click this video right here for more awesome content.